The music part of filmmaking to me is always the best because I love music. I love to be around music. I love to film it.
The journey with Anthony starts very early, almost when he's writing. He writes script, at the same time he thinks about all the music.
If there was music taking place in a scene, the music was always there. It was being played while people were setting up. It was being played during takes. It was very present. Ripley's somebody who's very musical and appreciates music, so it was great to kind of get in there and learn about it.
Playback!
We did listen to a lot of music, and we did talk about a lot of music. And I think being around players like Guy Barker, who's an amazing trumpet player who's contributed to the film, being around these people was so exciting to them that they just began to become more and more into the vibe of jazz as they went along.
Oh! Hey! You like jazz? I love jazz.
As soon as you hear Miles Davis, as soon as you hear Charlie Parker, you're transported to a different era.
This really was it, the time that the movie's covering in '58. You know, these guys were right on the cutting edge, right, just, you know, exploding, and it was happening, and they were a part of it.
Didn't I tell you San Remo was crazy? And you watch the films of the musicians of that time, I mean, it was an incredible energy of kind of cool.
I like the way these guys get dressed up and they go to these places. They were doing it because they genuinely loved the music, and so it became a scene.
I'm thinking of giving up the sax. What do you think about the drum?
There's a little argument going on musically between jazz and classical music, and so music becomes an absolute character in the film. Matt's character, Ripley, represents this very constrained, formal, classical tradition. He plays classical piano. And Dickie presents himself as a free thinker. The music, of course, at that period, jazz, is absolutely associated with living in the moment, listening in the moment, being in the moment. It's a perfect way to describe Dickie's character as somebody who picks up the sax and blows it.
The difference between these two characters is that Ripley's uptight, Dickie's fast and loose.
And they're constantly in tension with each other. And so there's a way of conducting this argument of personality through music.
You even like jazz? I've gotten to like it. Oh, yes!
It was very much part of the preparation, listening to the music, trying to learn to play the music. I had to learn to play the piano. It took me about 2 months of playing a couple hours a day to get it, because I can play basically chopsticks.
Jude had to learn the saxophone, and he took to it amazingly well. I mean, he could play by the time we got to the film, which I thought was an incredible achievement.
It was just a case of sort of drowning myself in it, because Dickie is so sort of, you know, into that kind of vibe, that music. I'm just trying to sort of submerge myself in it. It's been a very, very good excuse to listen to some really good music.
Well, the great song of this period is Tu vuoi fare l'americano, which is a song about Italians desperately wanting to be American. And so I came up with the idea of using a jazz club format in which Ripley was a reluctant and then rather joyful participant in an event.
The song goes really fast, very energetic. The actual chorus is very easy to pick up, and Ripley picks that up pretty quickly. We all went into the thing and we're all jumping around and singing it. And even, you know, people who were working were in there singing with us. Anthony was singing. It was a pretty lively day.
And I tried to create the exhilaration and joy of that on the stage in a jazz club in Rome, and it's one of the moments I'm most thrilled with in the movie. We've been very greedy in terms of the musicians we've used in the film. We've got a galaxy of extraordinary players. So we've gone for crossover players in the film, those who can sit easily within the context of a five-piece jazz band and also sit in with a 90-piece orchestra and not sound out of place.
Could we try Harry? Because it seems a big amount of strings.
Gabriel's absolutely the greatest composer around, in my opinion. He somehow evokes both romantic music and extremely modern music, and at the same time, his ability to write a tune is unsurpassed, I think.
Dee-da-da-da-dum, answer. Dee-dee-da-da-da, dee-da-da-da-dum. Anthony is so demanding and so eclectic in his taste that he brings me to do things I've never done before.
There's a moment where we meet Ripley playing a song, and it occurred to me that there were so many interesting themes in the film that we might want to use one of those. And so I was at the piano trying to fiddle around with some of these themes, and I called Gabrielle in France and said, I think we could, just do something from scratch, and we could use this bit of the syncopation theme.
And I immediately said to him, like every time I react to him, is I say, no possible.
I said, well, you could do this, you could do that, and started, whining down the phone to him.
I started thinking, well, he's right. We can take a song from that. We can make a song. We can have beautiful tune from that.
And then he called me back in half an hour and played me half of a song from the same theme, which was absolutely beautiful. Can we just play that first piece through?
I feel that in this score, I have assembled like the best of each thing that I've done before, of each style.
The thrill of hearing a 90-piece orchestra playing these themes that we've been playing ourselves in little rooms on synths and pianos for a year or more is rather like going from a screenplay to filming. Just knowing this is going to be in the film is an incredibly exciting, exhilarating process.